talk to you because I know you'll tell it like it is.
Yeah, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, I push live. It's going to take a couple of minutes.
All right.
I have a special intro, but I have to wait a few minutes, at least about a minute and a half, because it's not very long.
Mm,
But it's
I
very
got you.
It's very
Oh,
powerful.
I'm going to share this on my wall too.
Oh, I can tag you on it. Let me just tag you on it.
And then share now.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'll tag you anyway. All right, here we are. April Fool's Day.
When Morgan asked me to be on the show the other day,
Yeah.
like a spur of the moment type thing, I'm like, dude, I can't even get out of bed today. It's not happening.
I know. I know.
I mean, I was so laid up that day, and when it happens, it happens. It's not like
yeah.
I can control it. It's like my body is just like, nope.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It's beyond drowsiness.
Yeah. It's almost like the body is forcing you to just lay there and integrate the energies.
Yeah. It's true.
Because I'm not very good at listening, so I'm stubborn. So I'm taking the hard route, because I'm so stubborn.
Stubborn human makes a stubborn soul.
Yeah, true.
Really?
But it also creates like a survivor energy, because I kind of have this survivor energy in me.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean.
That's not good for what is happening, right?
It's good for it's
like you're supposed to surrender and let go, and I'm like, no, I gotta fight. I gotta survive.
I'm gonna play. We got 36 people in the house. We'll just go ahead and go with it. I'm gonna play a quick, powerful activation. It's like a DMT trip.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I got my God! Friend. Hi there, little guy. Welcome to my world. I've been playing with filters for an hour because I can't get off the sofa today.
So there we are.
Oh my gosh, there's so many of those on my Facebook, and it's like you know how you get the memories on Facebook?
Yeah.
I check them every day, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that's there. Great. I have fun with that kind of stuff.
Morgan said that Eric said he would come on too. Where's Eric at?
He's not even here. He's going to be here in a little bit, though. He's helping his parents get groceries and doing his
So you guys are going to come to Sedona too, man. That's going to be cool.
Oh, I'm super excited about that. We're only going to be able to be there till Saturday afternoon, though, because he has to do his Integratron thing on Sunday. Yeah. But man, I am pumped about that. I am so excited.
Didn't y'all just go to one? Was it an Integratron that you just went to?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks. I can't keep track of time anymore. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, she said not today, another time. She said not today, another time. Okay. She's talking about something else. All right. So, okay. We were talking before the show about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. I said I was, happy to see you were on the schedule because I know you won't hold anything back. So and you just said you were on your ass part of the time, and that whole thing, that beyond drowsiness. I mean, I've been getting it for like the last 3 hours. It just keeps coming like every second or third day, it seems like.
Yeah, well, I think, the event is here. People talk about an event. It's a slow process. It's not, because I think when people get downloads, they kind of forget, or, they'll get these downloads and they kind of forget that there's no linear time for higher dimensional beings. So when they say something's going to happen, it's not necessarily going to be in the time frame that we're going to think it is as humans. So a lot of us got information about this event a couple years ago, and a lot of people have talked about certain dates and stuff like that. And I got a little download about the event just a few nights ago, and I'm like, whatever happened to the event? And I don't know if it's my higher self or higher dimensional beings. I don't even ask. I just know that it's pretty on point. And I was told that it's happening intermittently with people, especially people who have had the light body activation. They're going to feel it more than other people do. So like, I'm like, well, all my family and friends, they're not feeling crap. You know,
Really?
why am I laid up in bed? Why, you know, why am I going through this? And of course, you go into that victim consciousness and you got to snap out of that. And it's like, hey, I signed up for this gig. And I really just got to listen to my body, because right now it's such a physical ascension. It's so physical now.
Yeah.
And we really just have to honor our bodies. And I had to change up my diet and a bunch of stuff in the last couple months. Like, meat is not doing well with me unless it's fish, and it's every once in a while. And I love fried chicken, and I can't touch that stuff right now. My stomach is messed up for days if I do.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm not attached to to that's always going to be that way. It's just, this is the process I'm going through now. And I think that's another thing that we really need to become accustomed to, is that to be in the now moment and to just really listen to the body and don't have beliefs or hangups about what's going on with you. Just honor it, honor your body, and honor the people around you, which I failed at that the other day too. Man, I went off on my Facebook.
You did. You showed your ass. Hey, everybody's shown their ass on Facebook. Everybody.
Oh my God. I made a post, and you know what? I asked for it. I created it. So I made a post saying, it says, honoring, or actually trusting your immune system is not a conspiracy theory. And that can lead to many assumptions. People can think it's about the jab or that and whatever things that they're holding on to. And a couple of people, like 2 people in a row, say, you're just selfish. You're selfish. And I went on there and I go, first of all, I am not selfish. I'm not a selfish person. Why I even replied to that is because I am selfish sometimes. It triggered me. Yeah. I'm a selfish person. This is why I did not have children, because I am kind of a selfish person. If I want to lay down and take a nap, I want to take a nap. If I want to do something, I want to do something. And so there are aspects of me that are very selfish. And so that person actually did me a favor by saying that. Yeah. And it's always just goes back to you. Yeah. Every single time. There is no pointing at the other person. I don't care if they call me every name in the book. There is no pointing at the other person anymore, because it feels like caca energy. It really does. Yeah. When I do that. Yeah. So, I think we're just all going through our process, and the highest possible thing that we could do at this time right now is to honor everyone's process, because we are so split right now and so divided about almost everything. Yeah. I'm not just talking about, the jab. I'm talking about politics, religion. People are just extra sensitive. And if I'm being sensitive, imagine someone who's not aware of, their energy and how they're projecting their energy at someone. They're going to have a way harder time than I'm having. So to have compassion for that person is the best thing that I can do. And, and I got to be easy on myself when I'm not compassionate too. So, I can't just beat myself up because I was human for a second and I had emotions and something needed to come out of me. Yeah. So, for ourselves. It's been my experience the last couple of weeks. It's just, this division has kind of gotten under my skin a little more than I thought it would, because I really handled it well for the first year. And then as stuff's starting to open up here and I see like the news, I don't watch the news, but I see it on Facebook or whatever, it's in your face no matter what. They're saying, after spring break, they'll probably close everything again because cases are going back up. And I'm just like, I just want to flip people off, that say those things, but that's not going to do anything. We signed up for this and we're supposed to be the center, the 0 point, the space in between. We are the ones that came here to do that, to hold that frequency while other people are going through it, and just show them. We don't need to tell them how to be, just show them how to be. That's the most important thing to do. Enough about me.
I've been just, I don't know, all over the place, but trying to stay active, which is becoming, a little bit more difficult as the days go by. And then at the same time, I keep doing it. I don't know. There's so much coming in. There's so much, so many ways I'm expanding. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying I'm worse. I'm just saying there's so much going on. And then it comes in, 2-3 times a day, you're getting some energy that you can feel. And then every 2 or 3 days, you get a big one. And you feel a certain way. And then all of a sudden, you're just discombobulated, and it doesn't last very long. But
yeah.
So a lot of alone time, a lot of time alone.
It is what it is. I'm actually going to spend some time alone up in the mountains next week. So I think it's good to kind of have that separate time, especially if you're in a connection that's very aware and conscious, to kind of spend some time apart, because I think Eric's triggered me the last 2 weeks. He's probably listening right now.
Last what?
He's triggered me more, and I don't really say anything most of the time. Sometimes I do, but usually I just giggle and laugh at myself about it. But it's, it's just the intense energies right now, and everything really needs to come up at this time. So he's actually serving me by doing that. And he's not even doing anything wrong. He's just being who he is. He's a great guy. He's not doing it. It's like, the other day I was pissed because he was so perfect. I'm like, why are you always so perfect? You're on my nerves. Had nothing to bitch about, Yeah. So, And I'm turning 46 next week.
46?
Yep, I'm turning 46 next week. And it's weird because I have been pretty tired and taking a lot of naps. I'm like, man, is this just getting old, or is it? But you know what it is. You could feel the energies coming in. I feel them going through my body. I feel it in the middle of the night. I'll wake up and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it feels like somebody plugged me into the electrical socket.
Yes. Yeah. We talked about it on a couple of shows last week.
Yeah. That could be very confused for anxiety. It did it for me at first. I thought it was anxiety when that happened to me in the middle of the night. And so when you think it's anxiety, you have a lot of resistance because you're trying to fight off the energy going through you. And that's all anxiety is like you resisting energy flowing through you. And well, for me it is anyway. I don't want to tell anybody else's their experience of it, but once I kind of just relaxed into it, it just started flowing through me, and it would get stuck in certain spots. There's density in my body. We all have density. We still have beliefs and programs that we're running.
That's right. We sure do.
So,
that's a bottomless pit.
I think to even be on this planet, you have to have some kind of belief system. It's whether it's fluid or not. So if it's a limited one, then it's going to be sticky. But if you're fluid in your beliefs and you can move through a belief that's not yours, that's considered mastery to me. I do it on some days, and other days it just doesn't happen. And it is what it is.
So you mean like move through a belief that's not like my own by looking at it, accepting it, allowing it, and moving on. Like I don't want to connect with it, but I'm gonna move on like that.
Yeah, well, it's also, there's just so much coming at us at this time with what's going on in the world. And if we could choose to honor somebody's process rather than try to control them or throw in their face what you think.
Right.
That compassion in action, that's Christ consciousness. If we can all at least try to be that way with people, I think that, it'll be a lot easier for not just us, but for everyone else. But I've also got, one of my aspects is this like real light warrior. And I just want to, it's like, I just want to, like, come on, what are you doing, people? You know, like, I have that energy. I have that aspect of me that still gets out of line and still pushes beyond people's boundaries. And it's, at least I know, you know, at least I can observe it at times, but it still comes out. It's like, I sometimes like triggering people. I don't know why. I have that in me. Like, I want to trigger people on my Facebook or people I'm talking to, and I think it's funny, and it's not funny. It upsets people. You know, it's not being neutral. So
but it's being you, right?
it is being me, and I honor that because it is an aspect of me. But I know that once I integrate all these aspects of me, it's just going to be such a beautiful thing, because it'll create really higher self-embodiment. If I ever get to that point, who knows? You know, it might not happen, but I just gotta love myself through it all and love everyone around me through it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because the divisions are obvious and they're getting louder every day. But what do we have in common? We're all going through the same shift. That's what we have in common. And we actually have a community where everybody's talking about it and trying to, you know, from an interdependent, you know, rather than codependent kind of way, trying to, you know, make it a better place. But I don't know. I will say this: the first part of the year is how it was last year and the year before. It was kind of like a integration or cocoon or something like that, and then things start popping in March and they take off until December. So I expect this year to be the same way. The question is, you know, what's going to happen on let's just say the two narratives,
well, there's definitely two prominent timelines right now. It's so blatantly obvious that there is. But, you know, I think a lot of the light workers / whatever we call ourselves, people that are in the ascension process, awakened, whatever these labels are these days.
Exactly.
I mean, we're the ones that are supposed to see the higher perspective. And if you really look at it from a higher perspective and you just observe it, everybody wants the same thing on both timelines. They want freedom, number one. They want love. And they want to be honored and respected for who they are. So if we can come together on those three things, and rather than see our differences, I think that it will be more of a unified field, even with the two separate timelines. Because that's what people want. People want to be honored for who they are.
Of course.
And respected for who they are.
Yeah.
So you look exhausted. I think Morgan needs to tuck you in.
No, I mean, it hit me about 2-3 hours ago. But
yeah. Well, that's about when it hit me too. We went to go up to lunch in the canyon, or it was breakfast. And I was walking, I go, when I get back, I got to take a nap before I even do that show with Todd. And then I laid there and I realized it was already like 12:30 and I hadn't taken a shower or done my hair. So I knew I had to do that. But no, I was dragging ass big time. Like I'm ready for a nap after this. I'm going to take a nap, maybe go for a walk on the beach. And I got to remind myself, my life does not suck. Even if I'm tired and exhausted and going through these energy upgrades, going through the diversity and the separation consciousness that's going on in this world, I get to walk on a beach every day or walk in a forest every day.
Yeah.
I'm pretty grateful for that. I really focus on what I'm grateful for because these places allow me to integrate and to just being in nature. It's like ever since we got that, or Eric got that place, it's not mine, it's his, but ever since he got that place up in the mountains, just looking at nature, just going out and looking at nature, like the birds and the squirrels and the trees, and they're just being.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nature teaches us so much. And we're so far removed from our natural state because of the programs and conditioning. It's just such a beautiful reminder to stare at squirrels for an hour or birds for an hour and just watch them do their thing. And they're mostly in harmony. Even the squirrels fight over food.
Mm-hmm.
Their lower chakras are spinning too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They want their food. They don't want to go to bed on an empty stomach, but it really can teach you a lot. And watching the flowers grow. I mean, right now it's spring there, and you see them popping up, and it takes time. It takes time from that seed to bloom into a flower, and the flower's not trying to rush it. It's just it's doing its natural thing.
That's right. No disruption, no distortion.
Nope. Because they're already in the 5th dimension and higher.
Yeah, I think we're the low species on the totem pole. I think even the insects and, I think they're all just waiting for us.
The insects, man, they're smart. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're all real smart. We've just been so disconnected from nature, our food, everything. We don't even see the process of our food growing or any of that stuff. And I really do believe we're going to go more into a more natural state. Those of us that are choosing the timeline that is more organic. I wouldn't say it's better. I would say it's organic.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more like growing gardens, and if you decide to eat meat, having chickens or whatever, and not relying so much on this factory process where we're not connected with our food anymore.
No.
And nature.
No, that's a lot of dense energy. It has to be if you look at it from an energetic standpoint. But I think and I wonder how much assistance or cooperation or collaboration we'll get from like Mother Earth or the universe. Like maybe the grid goes out, and maybe
that could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
At this point, basically anything can happen, and I don't think it would do much to me. I think I've been pretty much wrung out like a rat. Great, no electricity. Well, there you go. Next.
What's next?
You just gotta go with it. We didn't have, a lot of times up in the mountains, you don't have electricity. They turn it off if there's wind because they don't want the power lines to cause fires or anything like that. And it's amazing how much we're reliant on electricity. I mean, I walk around and I go and turn on the TV thinking it's going to turn on. I'll turn on the microwave and I'm like, oh, I forgot the electricity's off. We're just kind of creatures of habit, and it's just there for us. It's not like we even think about it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It could go. It could go. You never know. So when you're up there, do you have, I think I asked you this last time, but do you have are there other energies around and in the cabin and around the cabin?
I would say the last few times I've been there, not as much. I think that I'm really just trying to be in my body more. Mm. Like I'm going through this thing where I'm trying to be in my body. I've always been in the stars, even as a little girl. I used to stare, and the teachers would tell my parents, she just stares out into nowhere all the time, So it's been very uncomfortable, like going back into my body. And I think it's kind of pulled back a little there, but there's a very mantis energy up there, mantis beings. Mm. So there's that. And there's been a couple of times I've been up there by myself and I've started hearing bee sounds at night, and there's no bees. It's just around me. And I'm like, okay, if you guys are going to show yourself,
You tell them that?
Yes, you could show yourself. But I've also been told that I'm not ready. Like they'll show themselves when I'm ready because I would just freak out. I'd totally freak out probably up there by my own. There was one night that Eric was up there, and it was probably a month and a half ago or so. And we were just laying in bed, and I started seeing like light beams everywhere. And a lot of them were like circles, kind of like these little circles that have for the lights that people have for their phone. They look like circles, and they were popping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, things happen. They've always kind of happened. But up there, it's definitely a different energy. It's a much more pure energy, a much lighter energy.
Yeah.
A very supportive energy for the physical body. So I do like being up there a lot, especially at this time, because there's just so many things going on around in the outside world. And I just keep trying to remind myself to stay in the moment and live from the inside out. Because if you're going to live from the outside in right now, you are just going to be a mess at this point. You really got to live from the inside out. And I can't stress enough for people to get out into nature.
So over there in Laguna Beach, it's been shut down?
Not really.
Not really? So it really wasn't shut down?
It was. It was at the beginning, and then they started reopening a little bit, and then they shut everything down again. And a week later, all the restaurant owners, almost all of them, not every single one of them, just decided to let people eat there, even though it was outside, most of them, but they totally broke the rules. They just didn't follow the rules. And a couple weeks ago, they made it where you could eat outside again, and now they're letting you eat inside. Like that's the governor's rules or whatever. I don't even know. It's like some kind of tier thing that I don't understand, because I just do whatever the hell I want and I don't listen to it. And so I don't know how the whole thing works. But all I know is that there's, when I go certain places, they don't allow you to eat inside, or they just have drive-through or whatever it is. So there are still restrictions out there. But Laguna Beach, I think they finally got sick of it because the rent's so high here for restaurants that if they don't make money, they just go out of business. I mean, if your rent's $30,000 a month for your restaurant, which some of them are, they're between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. You can't afford not to have customers come in. So they basically just took it upon themselves to open up and let people sit outside or even inside, some of them.
Wow. There's no telling, what the repercussions are going to be of, going on. And I don't mean so much like in literal terms, but the energy of it. Like people, if there are people, like living from stimulus check to stimulus check, or, whatever the ramifications have been of, whatever these intentions, were, and the things that have come with it, like the mask and all that stuff. But I wonder how that's going to work. It seems like it would collide with even, I don't know how you would say this, but like say even with a 25% of the population being half woke, it would just seem it's getting so silly. It really is.
Well, this is definitely a catalyst for people to begin to wake up. This is why it happened. And if we could see it that way, it's a little bit easier to move through, for sure. I mean, if things just kept going the way they were going, it would just be going the way it was going before. We asked for this. We wanted this to happen. We've been talking about this in the so-called spiritual community for a few years, feeling like a buildup of something big was going to happen. And this was it. And I don't think a lot of the people that thought of the event or whatever they were calling it thought it was going to look this way. They didn't feel like they were going to be restricted from doing certain things, or a lot of uncomfortableness coming up. I think they just thought it was just going to be love and light, and they were going to be on heaven on earth all of a sudden. Well, you can't get to heaven on earth until you go through hell. And that's just how it works.
And the paradox of it all. Yeah.
Yep.
So do you think, like, for instance, like the event commenced with COVID, or that we're headed towards this convergence of, you know, the distortion in what's real. You know what I mean? Like how much pressure will the people take? Because I think at some point, you know what I mean?
It's really hard to tell, Todd, because a lot of people that are kind of just following the rules and stuff and going with the narrative at this point, they're glued to the TV and they're still being programmed by that stuff. So, I mean, I believe that COVID was just the beginning. I believe I think it's going to get much more intense. And I think that's why people like you, Morgan, and, you know, other people, we're getting these energetic upgrades and we're also getting a lot of things shoved in our face so that we can hold this neutral zone, the 0 point field, and be of service to humanity at this time. So we're feeling like we're getting beat up right now. And we kind of are. We're kind of in boot camp. We're kind of in boot camp right now for what's to come.
The newest boot camp. Yes, I agree.
I didn't think it would look like this. I just thought that, you know, this event's gonna come and I'm all good.
Well, I think we've all bought into that, and rightfully so, at one time or another, whether we want to admit it or not. You know, if not out of anything else, just pure weariness. You know, get it over with. But I wonder, like, how many. Not that it matters. I'm just curious. Like, how many people tune in? What are people tuning into? Is there like, what is that percentage of people that follow CNN and Fox and conventional mainstream media versus people out there searching for, you know, something else? I wonder.
I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't watched the news in so long that when I hear it, it sounds like Charlie Brown on the phone.
It does, doesn't it?
Like, I don't even hear it anymore when I walk into a store or whatever, or somebody's watching it. But I would think that people are becoming a lot more aware. I mean, it's just turned into a circus at this point, and there's no way that they can keep buying into that. And it might take another type of COVID thing to happen, you know, to shake them up to where they get to the point where they say, I'm not going to follow the narrative. You know, this is just ridiculous. This is systems trying to control me. I mean, I think it almost has to be so blatantly put out there to where it's in their face that there are systems that have tried to control humanity for thousands of years. And, you know, they're all showing themselves right now. And for them to, you know, kind of break apart, we have to look at them and we have to alchemize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Energy's energy. Doesn't matter what it looks like.
It's all energy.
Yeah.
It's all energy. If I'm having a hard time, I keep reminding myself, this is energy. How am I going to handle this energy right now? Sometimes I do a good job, and other times I don't do a very good job. So.
But I bet you and everyone else, you know, it just seems like everybody's moving through it faster than we were a year ago, or 2 years ago. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So there's got to be something said for that. It's almost like the individual journey is overriding the collective journey, like overriding, like look at the Matrix as a story, basically. And we're, you know, stepping into our power, and more importantly, we're creating from the present moment and creating this pretty cool experience. It's in the middle of a hurricane. You know
yeah,
I mean?
It's being the eye of the storm. Yeah. I mean, you know, I can talk about, like, I have a couple days that I need a nap and that I'm exhausted, or I can focus on all the awesome things that I get to do on a daily basis. I get to take walks on the beach. Eric and I do a lot of fun things together, and I don't think everybody's having the experience I'm having in this world right now. They're having a very hard time. And I'm so grateful that I get to have experiences and do things that don't let me focus necessarily. I mean, I know it's there. I know that we're in the middle of this pandemic thingy or whatever, and people are stressed out and people are losing their jobs. I totally have empathy for that, but I'm not going to not enjoy myself and not continue to live my life because other people are really having a hard time. I'd be there for them if they needed me. You know, if somebody says, hey, I need your help, I would absolutely be there for them. But I'm not going to lower my frequency in order to make people more comfortable.
Yeah. You're not going to compromise your soul. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's too many people that won't compromise their soul. I just can't buy into that. We don't have enough of a strong minority. And this is many, many different platforms, communities, religions, cultures, people, you know, parts of the world that is, you know, at some level saying no. And I think there's, you know, I mean, I haven't researched it a lot, but I think there's quite a bit of that going on in the form of protests and gatherings and such all around the world. It's just being suppressed. It's kind of hard to find.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't even go on Google and look anything up anymore. You got to go to alternative search engines. Google and Facebook and YouTube are so heavily censored that you can't really say anything unless it follows the narrative. But you know, it is a good thing that that's happening, because that means that they're scared to death.
Yeah.
These lower frequency beings that are holding on to these old paradigms and these old, you know, systems are terrified. They know humanity's waking up. They know that people are saying it's BS. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. We all want it to be sunshine and rainbows right away. Well, find the sunshine and rainbows within and do what you can with that during this time. But I think it's going to be a long haul, unless, you know, there's another timeline that just snaps, and I don't know. I don't know everything. But from where it looks now, where the energy is now, it's like this bifurcation that's happening right now, or this, it's like two timelines merge. They're separate with their beliefs, but they're just right next to each other and together. God, if we all could just focus on the things that we all want, you know, we want freedom. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on, you know, people want to be honored, and the differences put to the side. I think we're a little more capable of doing that than people that are really programmed. But if you show them the way, they're going to understand that you're coming from a place of love and compassion, and they're going to want to be that way. They're not going to want to fight. It feels icky to fight with another human being, and I don't care who it is. If you're like in an argument with somebody in real life or on Facebook, it feels like crap afterwards. It does not feel good. You're like, why did I say that to that person?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like everybody gets a big pair of balls on Facebook. Yeah. I don't understand. They wouldn't talk to somebody like that face to face.
Yeah, like those YouTube videos where they chase down the person they had an argument with, knock on the door. Well, you know, and that's the thing too. Some of these lessons are hard. Projection is projection. It doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter that somebody might have projected or not projected on you. And so that's the kind of responsibility that we're taking in the flesh. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. You know, I think, you know what I mean? And
we're not always going to be perfect at it. We can't be hard on ourselves if something triggers us. I mean, that's the gift, is the trigger. And like I said a few days ago, that happened to me, and I woke up the next morning. You should have seen me. I was all tight in my muscles the whole day. Like I was holding the programs in, the beliefs in the programs in my muscles. I could feel it. I could feel it in my muscles. I was so tight and wound up. And I woke up the next day and I was like, my body was all loose. And I go, what was that all about? Why did I do that? Like, what aspect of me needed attention for me to see something that needed to be alchemized within myself? Yeah. And not everybody's going to be able to do that right now. So if I kind of, like this lady, I kind of got upset with her. She says, you're selfish. And I am kind of selfish. So I didn't see it in that moment. I just thought she was attacking me. And I haven't talked to her again. I should probably PM her and just say, I really want to thank you or something, because that's the gift right there, is when you can wake up the next day and say, I'm not going to handle things like that next time. I'm not going to handle things like that. I'm going to do it different, because that did not feel good. And it doesn't feel good in the body at all. I used to be able to do it like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I could go off on somebody and it felt so good. Now it's just like density in the body, and it feels horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
You have to. And that's an important thing too. You said a minute ago, if there is, an event, so to speak, it's good to put it behind you as quick as you can properly. Go in, forgive yourself, whatever you do, because it's like anything else. It's like any trauma. It's like any past experience. It's going to go with us if we allow it to. And I think we're smart enough. And again, you can't lie about how you feel. I'm not talking about avoiding.
You can't bypass shit no more.
No.
Good luck with that one.
No, it's not happening.
Tried.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening.
You got to feel the feels and deal with the deals.
Yeah.
You got to feel it all.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm super excited about Sedona.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to meet you and Morgan and all the beautiful people that are going to be there. I just started listening to Franco. I have not listened to him. I think I listened to one show and he really activated me. I don't know what happened.
No, he's very good.
He activated me. I was in the middle of the desert and I had headphones on, and we were in where were we? Quartzsite, Arizona, which it's called Quartzsite because there's quartzite stone everywhere, which is very activating on top of it. And it was a full moon last month. And I was laying next to Eric. He was getting tons of downloads. I had the headphones on. I got code from Franco, and we both looked at each other and we had the same exact download. Yeah. It was just, it was all about, the 0 point field and all that stuff. But he's very, very activating. So I've listened, I think, one of his, I don't know, he does these classes or whatever. I listened to one of them.
Yeah, it's called Advancing Consciousness. He's had 70,
really good.
Yeah, he's had about 72 segments, and I would say, because some of them are multiple video, there's probably about 110 by now, 110 videos they've put together for like the past 15 months. They're incredible. He's incredible. Yeah. And, on that note, like you were talking about, being activated by somebody, by the voice, the information. Like I look at a lot of videos, just because of what I do. And there's something about the code coming through when people are doing what they're guided to do. And I say again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's something about vocalizing the message.
The frequency.
Yeah, there's something about it. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I don't know, like the human fusion of the human physical, non-physical. It's coming through the voice. It's invisible, but it's not invisible to the senses. There's something about that, and that's the kind of, because his stuff is long. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours. He does have some shorter ones, but and not really just talking about him. I'm just talking about I get a lot from picking up 5 or 10 minutes of someone's energy, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because what I do is I'll put headphones on if I wake up in the middle of the night. And I used to listen to Lisa Transcendence Brown. That was, talk about activations. Oof.
Well, she was big back in the day, wasn't she? She woke a lot of people up. She doesn't even need to put anything else out. If you guys want to be activated, go listen to a couple of her videos. You'll probably fall asleep, especially if you got blocks
for what she's saying. I just knock out, and then I let it play in my ear at night. I don't listen to her as much now, but Lori Ladd's another one. She's very activating. I used to listen to Eric's radio show and Michelle's radio show and get activated before I hung out with them. But you're right. It really is. It's code being transferred. And I think it's via the heart chakra, because I get a lot of heart chakra activation when I'm getting these codes. And another thing it's not the words they're saying.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
It's like a totally different level.
But there's something about the frequency of the voice. Yeah, it's actually more than the voice, because it involves breathing. It involves a lot of things to create the sound that comes out. It involves their own frequency, but there's something about when somebody's doing something that aligns with them, and there's that audio part of it, even if there's not a video, there's something about the potential of it, or the activation, the activating factor.
Yeah, it's authentic expression. It's just they're doing what they were put on this planet to do, and it's aligned. It's alignment, and it really is beautiful. Yeah. I think you need to get off the air. You look like you're ready to fall asleep.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm gonna do the whole hour. I'm doing it.
I have another one. I have another one right after this.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh boy, drink some water.
Yeah, I'm drinking tea like crazy.
Holy cow! What is with all the water? I drank a half a gallon of water in like the last 2 hours. Have you been getting that too? Like major thirst.
I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been drinking a pitcher of tea that I make every 2 days, and then drinking probably anywhere from 3 to 6 cups of water.
Yeah, I mean, I drink a lot of water before, but not like it's to the point where my mouth just feels like almost like if you're stoned and you have cotton mouth. It's
exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
And I'm not stoned, and it's like I didn't get the other part.
My stomach will be waterlogged. My stomach will be waterlogged, and my mouth is dry. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. No, I'm good. It's just like you just put your hands in the air and go, okay, what? Because every time you start to feel a certain way, something else comes in. So I figure
you're just not attached to it. You can't be attached to it.
No. Yeah. Right on. So we're going to see you in Sedona. I think Morgan said Eric's coming on between now and then. It won't be long. It's only going to be about 8 weeks, 8-9 weeks. There we go.
Yep. If this planet's still here, I'll be there.
Yeah. I'll be if this planet's still here. Oh my God. We have no idea what it could be. If I don't
fly into the sky.
It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be 5,000 people. It could be 5,000 people show up and break through the gates. It could be we could be living with the dinosaurs. We just woke up from a lunch break 10,000 years ago. Who knows? Who knows?
It could be like we just took a nap and this was our reality for a nap. And we go to another reality.
Exactly. And 3 seconds went by. Love you.
Yep.
I'll see you later.
Love you too. Have a great